Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for this Monday, January 24th, 2018. Taking a look at precipitation over the past 7 days, we had a significant amount across, especially the northern half of the area, across the mountains of Idaho and western Wyoming, and even the higher terrain of Utah and parts of eastern Nevada. Drier to the south and west, where very little precipitation occurred. And you can see that in terms of relationship to normal for mid to late January, most areas were below normal to well below normal in the southwest. Looking at snowfall on the left, in the past 72 hours, we did have some moderate amounts of about 2 to 4 inches, so some pockets of 6 to 8 over Nevada, a little bit higher, maybe 8 to 12 across the higher terrain of central Idaho, and even a bit more than that across western Wyoming. The northern Wasatch and any Uintas got about 4 to 6 inches of snowfall, very little further to the south. And you can see how that relates to the seasonal snowpack so far. The deepest in the mountains of central Idaho and western Wyoming amounts over 40 to maybe 50, 60 inches, much below normal across the higher terrain of Nevada and Utah. Snow depths basically just maybe 12 to 24 inches, and for the most part that's less than half of what normally should be occurring this time of year, and also pretty low snowpack across most of the Sierra, well below normal there as well. Looking at satellite imagery, we do have a little brief ridge of high pressure building in across the area, currently across the western Great Basin, which will provide some ridging and some warmth. A bit of a decrease in dispersion the next day or two as it tracks into the eastern portion of the Great Basin, but then another storm system pushing into the Pacific Northwest will push in and increase dispersion and also bring some precipitation to parts of the area towards the end of the week. So we look at the weather pattern for late this afternoon. You can see that that high pressure ridge very quickly builds over us through here. Over the Great Basin, but you can see that clouds and moisture already streaming into the Sierra, into far western Nevada. That'll increase the winds as well, so that's the other thing to keep in mind. Looking here on the ventilation index, best ventilation will be across western areas closer to the influence of that storm. Worst dispersion conditions further to the east. And those winds across the Sierra front will be quite strong. We should see gusts, probably this brown area, probably in excess of about 50 miles per hour. So strong winds coming in. There'll be an increase in humidity, but any burning that's going on or any fire in the ground with this kind of environment, especially the further east you go, with some of these winds in the dark purple to brown shades, that could be problematic. But it'll be a pretty good dispersion as you head into the Rubies, into Idaho. All areas get good transport winds. Best vertical mixing in western areas. It decreases a bit further to the east. Now on Thursday, we do see that moisture does stream into a good portion of the northern 3/4 of the area. With the areas in the green, there'll be some precipitation. Ventilation overall pretty good in that area. Lots of white around, which is our highest value. Strongest transport winds still just about everywhere. Should have some good south to west winds. No problem with mixing heights. And then on Friday, still a very stormy period. Another storm pushing to the Pacific Northwest, northern California, far northwest Nevada, through Idaho and Wyoming. Not as much moisture, but still breezy with good dispersion further south. No significant problems with the ventilation index. Maybe a little bit worse as you head down towards Vegas. Best winds and best dispersion, you look here on the left, will be across the northern portion of the Great Basin. Lighter winds to the south. So looking around here at the 3-day precipitation accumulation, fairly light amounts across the Wasatch, about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit less than that across the northern half of Nevada. The best amounts of 3/4 of an inch to over an inch will be across Idaho and Wyoming. Of course, that could translate into another 1/2 foot to 1.5 foot of snow. Dry to the south. As we go further down the road Saturday, we do see high pressure building in. Drier air given by the tannish orange shades. There'll still be some clouds, maybe some light moisture across our far northern areas. Our ventilation index on the right hand side, a little patchy, but no large scale areas of stagnation yet. But we may start seeing that a bit as Sunday, as high pressure builds in, drier air coming in on top of snow cover. Northern areas that do have some snow cover could see some locally strong and long-lasting inversions, especially so on Monday. That could be more prevalent. but that high does start to break down on Monday, and then Tuesday we get some strong winds coming in out of the west with a trough of low pressure that could start improving dispersion conditions across our western areas, but still remaining stubbornly low down here in the eastern portion of the Great Basin. Precipitation days 4 and 5 as we go on from Saturday through Monday, again confined to our 4 northern areas, very little to the south. And the long-range 8 to 14-day outlook shows near normal temperatures across the Great Basin, slightly cooler than normal to the north, slightly warmer than normal to the south. Precipitation mostly normal to drier than normal, the driest being across southern and western areas. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.